Hello friends, today I am going to demonstrate the second version of Signalr Core, in which we will be seeing the servers will be transmitting alerts to the connected clients about newly connected user information. So this is the second part. Don't forget to watch the earlier part for the quick configurations. Now let us go to the project. I have an open Visual Studio 2017 in front of me. So I have just selected ASP.NET Core Web Application with .NET Core. In the name field you can enter any name. I have entered Core Web Application 7. I'll just say OK. I am going to select Web Application as a template, and I'll make sure this check is not selected and authentication is no authentication to avoid any complexity. And I'll say OK. Now Visual Studio has created the basic template for us. In the dependency section I can see all the dependencies which we have right a moment. We can note that there is no dependency added till now for the Signalr Core. So let's do that. To have that added, I am going to switch to my package manager console, and over there I will write a command: install package gray.microsoft.aspnet core.signalr.server -pre. So after writing this command I will simply press enter so that these dependencies will be added for us by Visual Studio. These are the high level steps which we need to cover, starting from NuGet package installation, then updates required for the startup.cs to do the basic configuration of Signalr application, and then bower.json should be updated for the client side dependencies inclusion. And the last two things which are mandatory are the extension which will allow us to make the standard hub act as we need, and the client as well. We need to embed our customized functionality in the client. So how to do that? Let's see. I'm switching back to Visual Studio. Here we can see our in NuGet packages I can note that ASPNET Core.Signalr.server has been already added, which is currently in alpha release. So once I have that, the next thing is I need to add a couple of entries into the startup.cs so that the application gets aware that Signalr Core is getting used. So in the configure services, right below services.add-mvc, I need to add this line, services.add-Signalr, so that the application will be aware that Signalr is getting used. And in the configure method I have to write here app.useSignalr. That's it. Now in the startup, whatever configuration was required, we have done that. The last thing is that in the library, if I see there is no entry for the Signalr client side script. So to have that, what we need to do, we have to update our bower.json, and we need to add one line here specifying that Signalr should be added 2.2.1 version. That's it. I'll save it and rebuild. Now I will run the project to see the setups that we have done is properly done or no. Till now we are just configuring our application. We have not tried to put our customized logics in the client or the server. That we will shortly be doing, but before that I'm showing you the mandatory steps which are required, which we have to do. Once the page is loaded, we need to just verify that. If I'll write here Signalr Hub, we have to just write Signalr Hubs here and say enter. If this textual information is coming, this is a proof that our auto-generated proxy is getting generated properly, which means that the configuration is okay. Now we need to introduce our hub and client, which will contain all of our customized code. So to do that, I'm going to right click on the project, add new folder. I'll call it hubs, and within that I'll just right click, add class, a simple C# class. I will call it myhub.cs. Now the next thing I need to do is I need to extend this from the hub class of ASPNET Core Signalr. So if I will put here, I will import the necessary package or namespace. Now I'll try to write our customize function, public void server listener, and this function is expecting a username from the client side to be received to it. The next thing is, once this function receive a username, it will try to utilize the client's property of standard hub class, and with the help of that it will select all other clients which are connected to this server and notify updates. This notify updates is a function name which we will be creating shortly at the client side. So this server listener message is expecting a username from the client side. Any newly connected client will send a username to this function, and this function in turn will broadcast to all other clients about the alert that the newly user got connected. So this was our simplest possible hub server. Now let us create a client as well. So I'll switch to the views. In the home I will use index view. I'll delete whatever we have already available, and over here we will be starting our scripting. So to make this simplest view to act as a client, I need to reference a couple of JavaScript files, for which I will go to libraries, and within libraries we have jQuery. Under the distribution, within the jQuery.js there is a minified file called jQuery.js.min. So I'll just drop this here. The next thing I need to do is I have to go to the Signalr folder, which is added due to the bar.json file updation. From here I am going to pick this minified file and put it in the same order in which I am putting it. And the last thing is I'll put here script source equals to Signalr/hubs. This is the auto-generated proxy location which we have already verified earlier. After that I'll need one more script tag where our customization we will be writing. So now the configuration for the client page is done. Now let us customize it as per our needs. So to do that, first I have to create a hub proxy. I'll reference with the help of jQuery.connection.hub.create hub proxy, and here I have to pass the name of our customized hub. Now this connection object reside within the signalr.min.js file. So by referencing that, we are requesting our hub to create a hub proxy for us, which will be stored in the hub proxy class variable. Now I'll say hub proxy.on to register an event that whenever a function gets called, this is my callback function which I am registering. So from the myhub.cs, now I will just simply copy the name which we have given, which the server is expecting that this message should be a method which should be available at the client sides. So I just copy this and put it here. What we are doing here, we are just telling our hub proxy that whenever notify updates got called from the server side, so this is your callback function which you need to call. And once this is getting called, now we need to put here first h4 tag, and within h4 I am going to create a span element with id results. Now what I'm going to do here, whenever this notify updates got called from the server side, with the help of jQuery, I'll find the span element which is having a name of results, and I'll append HR tag, which is a horizontal rule, so that a line will be there, and after the line I'm going to put the actual content which we received from the server, which in this case will be received here in this variable. Now we have completed our client side function notify updates, which is ready now for receiving the data from the server side. Now one more thing we need to do here is to start our hub. To do that, we have to call the connection object again, .hub.start. So when this line got executed, the hub will be started. And once the start is done, we want something else to be done. So whenever the start is done, this callback function is getting called, and from here we will again use our hub proxy, and we will invoke the method of the server side which we have created and pass some input arguments. Here I can say connected user, and what that connected user is, I will create a var connected user is equal to prompt enter username semicolon. So when this prompt will show up, pop up to a user asking him to enter the name, and once he enters the name, that is getting received in the connected user, and that name we are going to take and passing it to the server. And to which function of the server? To this one. Now we can see that whenever the standard hub got start, the first thing it's going to do, it's taking an input from the user. The username is getting input, and then that name is passed with the help of the proxy invoke method to the server listener method. And once server listener will receive it, it will simply broadcast it to the other connected clients. Now let us see how it looks like. It's asking me name. I will put simply A. Now I will open a new browser, simply copy the URL from this, put it here, Now I enter the name Ahmed here, and as soon as I'll enter name Ahmed, so it's getting notified to the other connected client that Ahmed got connected. Now maybe I can open a new browser once more, and this time let's enter Ajaz and say OK. So now you can see to the other clients the message is getting communicated. So this was our today demo, in which we have seen that whenever a new client is getting connected, so the existing clients are getting a notification about the name of that user which is getting newly connected. So get in touch with us and please subscribe us. Thank you.